report is out on the use of force by Columbia police officers. That report is based off of data from last year. Officers used force 308 times, and that force includes things like strikes, pepper spray, dog bites, and tasers. Joining me today to talk more about this report is Sergeant Paul Dickinson with the Columbia Police Department. Well, first off, thanks so much for coming on.
problem.
We really appreciate you coming here today to talk about this. First off, how does the department feel about this latest report that's out?
I think the report demonstrates and shows that the officers within Columbia are only using force or responding to resistance when we need to. Out of the almost 154 calls for service last year, less than 1% of those calls we actually used force against somebody.
And the types of force being used, there were 308 responses. 4 were found to be improper. Can you go into detail about those specific cases and kind of how they were found to be improper and what action might have been taken?
The range could be from just documentation of the force that was used was incorrect, or a technique was used incorrectly. And those 4 times, training would have been emphasized for the officer, and they'd have been retrained in that and how to use that force.
So basically a learning experience. Was anybody put on administrative leave because of those incidents?
Not that I believe, no. And we're a young department, so a lot of those officers are learning, and it's a retraining issue.
Why did the department, why do they put together this report each year?
The chief wants to be open about how we do business in Columbia and how to build relationships with the community, and this is an important way. We don't want to hide anything. We want to be open about what we do and how we do it.
And when looking at the report, like we said, this includes a lot of different things. I mean, dog bites from police K-9 units, pepper spray, tasers. Is there one area that stands out as a high number that you like to get down, or is it really just about what was needed for that specific call?
No, like I said, less than 1% of the time we use the force, and I think that's a number that demonstrates that we don't use force when we don't need to in Columbia. And I think the numbers clearly show that we're in line with what we need to be in with policy, because we only use force when we're required to or need to.
So overall, the department feels pretty good about this latest report.
Absolutely, yes.
And I know there were some compliments that were also tracked in this report, and there were also some complaints as well. That's all taken into account,
yes.
Right?
Yes. Last year, 19 complaints that met city ordinance, a definition of a complaint, which is down from last year. Also up from last year is our own internal investigations. And again, I think that can be contributed to a younger department. Most of those will be personnel issues that we take care of inside, so we're policing ourselves as well as we can.
And overall, why are these reports put together? You said it is kind of just to kind of check in on yourself. The chief likes to do this.
Absolutely. The chief's all about accountability. And this is our accountability to the public we serve.
And will this be used and brought up in training as new officers are getting trained and put out on the streets?
Yep. Once again, it's when the officers go through their orientation, they train the new officers, we're going to explain to them, hey, within this department, you can only use force that you're allowed to use by policy, and these numbers show that we do that.
Do you feel like this day and age, too, we've seen a lot of different high-profile cases, even one, you know, in the St. Louis area with the Michael Brown shooting, where police force has been brought up and brought center stage. Do you think that these reports take even more, more people are looking at these reports based on everything that's happening nationwide? Absolutely.
And that's another reason why the chief wants to put these numbers out there.
Well, I think that's all I had. Anything else?